Commit to a conversation with someone that you find challenging. You know, one of those people that you really want to avoid because we find them difficult. Well, today I am joined by one of them and I want to talk to them as if I don't know them properly. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Unbecoming to Become with me, Eunice. If you've just joined us, I'd like to take this moment to welcome you. You are at the right place and at the right time, and I truly hope that this message does not only speak to you, but it also speaks to your soul. Today I am joined by a schoolmate, a spiritual brother, somebody that I call Mwanama Malipapa because hey, Runari Bakhetwa. You know what's overwhelming at this point is the fact that had somebody told me 5 years ago that I was going to be on vacation with him and still be able to do work with him, I wouldn't have believed it. And I think the beautiful thing about life is that God does not show us the plans that He has for us because He does not want to overwhelm us. Hence, He gives them to us by bits and pieces. And I think that's one of the beautiful things that you get to see the picture that God has for you and you embrace it fully. Today I am joined by Roy Segone, an investor, an individual that strives to break the psychological inculcation of the black man and woman. He strongly believes in black economical relevance and financial freedom. Without wasting any more time, hello and welcome to the show, Roy. How are you today?
Hello, Eunice. I'm good, and yourself? I'm so excited to be sharing this moment with you. This is a very powerful platform, I must say, and I hope we can tap on one another's brains so that we can impact lives.
Thank you. I'm also honored to be sharing this moment with you. I think I'm in my feels. Guys, it's my birthday today. I'm in Mauritius. I really don't know how to feel. A few minutes ago or an hour ago, I just turned 22. And here I am with a force, and I am excited. I want you to tell us more about yourself. Let's talk about you. Kemang Roy, what do you do and what's the motive behind what you do?
Okay, so my name is Leroy. I'm a proud Motswana boy from Soweto, raised by a single parent, but not that the other parent was present. He was like a bit of absent in my life. But nevertheless, I'm an investor that believes in black economic empowerment, and I believe that we can move into other spaces of life as black men and women, because we've been affected by this psychological barriers for 500 years that started with slavery, and I think that has been altered generations to generations. And I believe I'm that one person that is gifted enough to save the black life and the black community. So I strive for that, basically.
Oh my goodness, you said we've been affected for like 500 years.
Yes.
You realize how many generations have been born under that mentality and how much of a job our youth has to do to break that lineage. I find that mind-blowing,
I always tell people that we are under the astrological era of Aquarius, and I believe that Aquarius is all about knowledge, wisdom, and power. And I believe that we are the generation that has to suffer so that we leave on the legacy to our children and our children's children, in the future. And I believe that we can be able to do that by, doing the right things, moving into the correct spaces, and aligning ourselves to the reactions of life and the motions of life by being positive and attracting the right energies and the right frequencies, And
also aligning yourself with the right people. Thank you for your introduction. Yesterday we were at the pool. I don't remember if it was yesterday or day before that. And we spoke about relationships, and not just relationships amongst ourselves, but also relationships with our parents.
Yes.
And before we get into that, I want you to like tell me what is it that you are most grateful for before we like unpack this topic.
Yes.
What is it that you're grateful for with the kind of relationship that you have, either with your mom or with your dad, or with both of them as a whole, you know?
Well, first of all, I'm grateful for my struggles, and I believe in my struggles so much that because my struggle has tapped into my brain and it has activated the power in me to empower myself, you know. Had it not been for my struggle, I wouldn't be talking like this. Had it not been for my struggle, I wouldn't be like in this kind of space. So I'm grateful for the life that I have. I'm grateful for the people that have been in my life. I'm grateful for the people that are in my life, and I'm grateful for the fact that, you know, I'm living as a person and I'm able to realize, you know, the realm of the modern life and the relationship of me being in the space of modern ways of living.
And you know, I think I can relate to your struggle so much because growing up in a black household, the moment you ask for a toy or you say, Mama, I need to go to school, Mama, this and that, it's like you're like indirectly asking to be lectured about the financial situations at home. You know, they start saying, you know, the situation here at home is like this and that. And
Yes.
I feel like that's one of the ways where, as a black child, you grow up, you're not able to express yourself.
Yes.
We grow up and we do not have like those tight relationships with our parents, if I could say in a way, because we are being pressed down. You want to ask for something, you want to say something, and you are being shut into saying how you feel or what you want. And hopefully we get to change that narrative. But after you have said your what you're grateful for, I want to know, what do you think would have made life better had your life taken a different shape? Had it not been the struggles that you're grateful for? Do you think your life would have been better or worse? Or you would have indifferentiated to somebody that we don't even know at this point?
What I believe in is, I believe that everyone has a purpose in life, and how you determine your purpose is how your life is aligned to your situation in life. So I don't think there's any other way to express how I'm feeling right now. I haven't even imagined of how would I have became had I not encountered my struggles. But hence I'm saying I'm very grateful for them, and I believe in my struggle so much that I believe my struggle has brought about my giftings, my purpose in life, and what I want to achieve.
You know, you spoke about purpose, and for the longest time, people go through life without actually knowing what is it that they're meant to be. I've
Yes.
had encounters with women who are like 42, and they're like, it's only now that they've started finding their foot in life. It's only now that they've started realizing what is it that God has called them to do.
Yes.
And like we spoke about it the other day, in most cases it's because women are so committed in relationships for so long.
Yes.
They invest themselves in bazokhulisa abantwana, ngizoyenza lokhu nalokhu, to a point whereby they forget that before being a
True.
mother, you are an individual. And I think that many people grow up in such situations whereby there's an inequality,
Yes.
and as a matter of fact, we also grow up because we see that emakhaya.
Yes.
We take upon the same structure,
Yes.
you know. So like, how do you think your life at home growing has shaped you and the relationships that you have with other people? Like, not only relationships dating wise, but like friendships. How do you envision your future household? Do you also see yourself following the same pattern as your parents, or are you at a point whereby you're trying to break that you know,
psychology.
that psychology.
Okay, so my life at home has always been very discreet. I had no relationship whatsoever that is intimate with my dad, which was the person that was supposed to mentor me when I was young till the man that I am right now. But what we're struggling with as black men is that our parents, our fathers are absent in our emotional state of being. So you find that a lot of men are serial cheaters, are alcoholics, they divert to the wrongdoings. But it's not entirely their fault that they're like that. But it begins at home, because black men nowadays, I think they crave the
They're crying inside.
They're crying inside. They're even craving like the love affection of a parent coming from a father, whether a mother. Because with girls, you find that a girl can be maybe dating older women, or someone can divert to lesbianism or homosexuality as a whole, because our parents have been absent with raising this child, nurturing this child and ensuring that this person is able to fend for themselves, when they're alone. But we lack this emotional communication with our parents. So I believe it's a default in our families, and we should fix that, because we should align ourselves with the right mindset, the right structure, and try not to divert to what our parents are right now. Yeah, that's what I believe.
And I can relate so much, like drawing from my dad's experiences growing up, because he always shares all of these things. His dad passed on when he was like 14.
Yes.
His mom was never around. He was like a very business woman. So when his dad passed away, obviously he had to go and be raised somewhere else. And growing up, life was not easy.
Yes.
And yes, for the longest time, he has been that very present father and all of those beautiful things. But the effects of growing up are now showing up. And as much as I'd like to blame him and be like, but why are such things happening now? Why does this have to play at this point of my life? And I then sit back and be like, it's because of how he grew up.
Yes.
That whole scene is outplaying itself now. There was nobody to guide him in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think I've seen that with like 1 or 2 people that I've also dated. Having an absent father also plays a role in how you treat a girl, because at home there isn't that it's not the case with everyone. Yes. I don't want to put it that in that sense, but like with most people having an absent father, I kind of see how it outplays. I've made friends who have diverted. You said you do not choose to be born gay, but some of the struggles and also all of those things like push you into that contest. And I've come across like people, white, black, all shapes of life and all corners of life, who, when I try to understand
yes,
why do they believe strongly in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you learn that it's the struggles that lack from the relationships that they have with their parents.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I was asking that how has that shaped the relationships that you have had?
Okay, so the relationships that I have with my friends are not, defined by how I was raised and how I was born, because I was able to find to make principles for myself and to open what I call my third eye. So my third eye is how I see things lately and how I interact with myself, and with others, because I've learned that it is always wise to have a different opinion about things. So my relationships are structured by the most simplest things, like love, hope, trust, and belief. If you have, like, strong relationships are built by those core things. So if you lack self-love, I don't think you'll be able to love yourself. I don't think you'll be able to love others. So it begins at the lowest level of how you interact with yourself, that determines how you interact with others. Yes. So my relationships with my friends, my family, is defined by my emotional state and how I define the core fundamental, aspect of defining a friendship, defining a relationship, basically.
The reason why I started Unbecoming to Become is because I had found myself in spaces where I'd have like powerful conversations with people, and I was like, I want other people to listen to these conversations. I want other people to hear the important stuff that we talk about. And so this idea came about because we live in societies where we are being told how to live our lives, what to do and what not to do. People tend to give us like limits. At 30 you should be married, you should have a car, you should have this job, at this age you should have a qualification, because if you don't, it's like your life is not working out in the best way that it should. And so I wanted to hear from you, like, how do you find balance? How do you manage to keep a focused mind in all that you do? Because a lot of people, Mutu goes through one downfall in life.
Yes.
Something does not go well and he resorts to committing suicide. A lot of people are faced with depression, and if you've listened to my first podcast, I think that I did mention that overall it's in your mind. If you believe that you're depressed, you're going to start feeling depressed. But from you, we are all going through life. I'm also at a point where I'm trying to find my foot. You're also at a point where you're trying to find your foot. And I want us to share our experiences and how we are able to keep focused. Even when you fall, what is the one thing that motivates you to be like, Eunice, you've got this, you are doing great. Like, how do you manage to keep a focused mind,
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to share this with you, because I believe that everyone has a gift. No one was born without a gift. Everyone has an assignment in this world. And social expectations have falsified our gift because they paralyze the black society into other giftings that are not even relevant. What your gift is determined by the source that you come from, because defining your source is very important.
Right.
You're sitting on a couch right now, it's made out of wood. This wood comes from a tree.
Who's the creator of that
Who's
tree?
that creator of that tree?
Right.
Determines the strength of the table that you're sitting in. So people need to realize that they have a source, and their source determines their strength, and their strength determines the outcome of living in life. So I keep my focus based on my source, which is God. And I believe that the core fundamental strengths of God are my strengths. So when I wake up in the morning, I wake up with a positive attitude. When I wake up, I make sure that I look at myself in the mirror and I become honest with myself. Because what you think of yourself is what you perceive of yourself outside of yourself. Okay? So people tend to lose focus in the early stages of the day when you wake up, because you start checking your phone immediately when you start to wake up, and that determines the rest of your day, because the energies that are happening through social media have a high impact in our image.
Whenever to go on vacation and you feel like you're not making it in life.
Do you get what I'm saying? So I structure my life according to what I believe in and what I want for myself. And that has strengthened my relationship with myself.
And I think it's important that I share this. I'm also striving. I'm not saying that I'm excelling in this thing, but I'm trying to wake up and not touch my phone.
Yes.
I'm challenging myself to like think of 10 things that I'm grateful for. It does not matter if each and every day I repeat the same things, but it helps me to keep focused.
Exactly.
You know, like count the simple things in life. I remember I had a conversation with Indina, and she was like, Eunice, today I woke up and I was grateful for sparkling water. And I was like, wowza.
That's amazing.
That's amazing, because growing up, you know, we don't have the privilege of sparkling water.
Exactly.
And you start thinking that one day I'm also going to be able to wear heels, walk into an office and drink sparkling water. But the moment those things happen, we are not able to recognize that we are living in that moment, because we fail in the earliest forms of our lives to count the things that we are grateful for. And I've read somewhere and I've seen this happen in my life, and I feel like they emphasize this even at church or wherever that you go for spiritual alignment. They emphasize the importance or the power in gratitude. Hence we have praise and worship. God is moved by how we praise Him. You know,
Yes.
the little things that we are grateful for, they
Yes.
in turn they like multiply into greater things. I remember when I arrived in US, my first encounter was at the beach. It wasn't even like a fancy beach, you know. Right
Yes.
now we are living the life.
Yes.
New Jersey, it's known as Dirty Jersey. The beach
Oh, wow.
was really dirty, but I was grateful for being able to make it to the beach.
Yes.
We're from Gauteng.
Yes.
If you want a beach, you have to go to Durban, you have to go to Cape Town.
Exactly.
I forced myself to overlook the dirtiness of the water,
Yes, of the
and
water.
all of that, and I was like, I'm grateful that at this point in time I'm at the beach. Somebody is going through a lot, but here I am given this opportunity to look at the waves and how powerful water can be, and be reminded of how powerful God can be. And so I liked when you shared how it's important to like recognize your source of strength.
Yes.
You know,
Very
I feel
important.
like that's very powerful. And you know, one important thing I like about this conversation is that I decided not to title it, because I was like, I just want us to have an ongoing conversation about life in general,
Yes.
whether it be relationship, be money, and all of that. And let's come to financials, because people are like, you guys are busy talking about these things, but here I am broke.
Senza nini mali kanti
They
thina.
think broke is a real thing. People see you posting, they're like, where do you get the money to do all of that? How are you doing it? Let's share a bit about that.
So basically, money is not the bill that you see on R100 note or like $100 bill. You know, money is energy. So
You and energy. I'm interested in all of
energy.
this.
So people should change how they feel about certain things. If you change how you feel about money, you magnetize more of it. So a lot of our black men and women are incarcerated with this psychological barrier of being broke. We all broke. I can make an example. If an average employee gets a salary of 5,000, that person automatically has a problem of 20,000 rand. That makes them officially broke. By the time their salary gets into their bank account, they're already broke. So what I'm saying is, people should start feeling and absorbing the right energies to attract money, you know. So it begins with your purpose, of course, knowing what you want. Why do you wake up? And I think
And I
your
also
why
know that
is
people
important.
also want to know, how do you magnetize this money? How do you call it to come to you? You
Yes.
know, because I'm also interested in that.
Okay, so if you are passionate about money, you get into spaces where money is injected. So I'm involved in this thing called Forex. We trade currencies, and it's a very powerful tool. that can, liberate young black men and women in this country, South Africa, all over the world. So I believe this tool can reach a milestone, and can be able to change our lives. So how I magnetize it is that I invest my time with this thing. My mom was once shouting at me because the last time I was studying this thing, the first time I studied Forex, I had not eaten for I think 12 hours, and she was kind of concerned of why am I not eating. But because this thing is so powerful and I want to magnetize this thing, I didn't even realize that I have not even eaten. So I was trying to be good at this thing. So it's important how you manage your time, and what you invest your time in. That is very important. That's how you magnetize a lot of stuff. What you put your time in actually is the output.
What you give is what you get.
Yes, basically that.
I forgot what I wanted to say. I forgot.
It happens.
You said your mom was concerned, and I thought that maybe you were gonna say that she complained.
Yes.
Because that's the thing, ne? We
Yes.
Enemy to a point whereby we do not believe in making money from the internet anymore.
Yes.
It's like you talk about Forex and they're like, he wants to eat our money. He's trying to take our money, and I believe it's because people have aligned themselves with the wrong people.
Exactly.
You hear people talking about Forex, they ask you for 10 grand,
yes.
and there you are giving them 10 grand, 1, 2, 3, your money is gone.
Exactly.
Like we live in a society of people who are lazy in the brain. I'm sorry if this comes across rude or in a bad way, but this is me expressing my thoughts and feelings, and this is what I have seen. A 22-year-old girl who has been able to go into different spaces, and that's the one thing that I've picked up. We live in a society of people that are lazy. We are not curious enough, and I would like to make this a topic for another day, but we are not curious. We hear about money, we try to find ways to make money quickly.
Exactly.
We do not want to invest in knowing, in the knowledge of how to make that money. So what has been like your experience when you started talking about Forex? Weren't they like,
of course there were a lot of skepticism, but when I started coming out, because for a while I was kind of shelled in. I didn't want to come out as an investor because I knew that this industry was clouded with a lot of scammers. So I realized that I should come out and be the one that changes the narrative of how this powerful tools maneuvers around the black community. So I believe that people should research. People are lazy to research. People are lazy to, it begins with curiosity. People want the end product of what you're doing.
But
they don't want
they
don't want the actual process, because behind the scene, it's when it goes
and
very
I guess
bad.
because I've had like multiple encounters with people who are like, I think I have depression, and I'm like, why? And it's like, I'm broke. And I've seen so many people who have talent, but they're not investing their time in it. And I've come across this quote in one of the books that I was reading, which I cannot really remember very much. And it's like, take care of your purpose, and your purpose will take care of you.
Yes, that's very powerful.
And people aren't even willing to try and invest in what will make or break them. They just want the end results, like you were saying. How do we break that narrative? How do we get into people and wake them up? Like, what is it that we emphasize? Like, hey, things do happen if you can stop doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes. People are reluctant on believing in themselves, because I believe that belief is the fundamental thing that makes a person tick, you know. Because if you don't believe in yourself, unfortunately, you won't attract the right energies into your life. You struggle with depression. You struggle with a low self-esteem, because a lot of people want to trade their lives for other people's lives. You know, J. Cole once said, there ain't no such thing as a life better than yours. So I think we should start as black men and women. We should start breaking this narrative of being depressed by, you know, embracing our Africanity, because we've lost that identity through the process. And I believe that people are starting to believe in the Western life. Like, our Africanity is being westernized. So it becomes a problem to, you know, come back to your Africanity and manifest, you know, energies that can elevate you wherever you wanna go, or however you want to succeed in life.
I like this whole energy thing, because everything that you do is indeed an energy.
Is an energy.
The energy that you give out is the energy that you receive.
Exactly.
The energy that you give to money. I remember watching this other interview by Kanyembao, and she was like, I have a good relationship with money. When money has problems, it comes to me.
Yes.
And when I have problems, I go to money. And I feel like that was a very powerful statement.
Very powerful.
I know that when we do shopping, especially us, people who are from like a real struggle, you want to go to Pick and Pay, ShopRite or Checkers, and you want to buy like the cheapest things. And I feel like by doing that, you're already limiting yourself.
Exactly.
To money. You want to buy cheese, but you want to buy like the cheapest one.
Exactly.
And I've always wondered, why do we do that? You know, you want to buy juice, but you're like going to look for the cheap one. Why can't we channel ourselves to like buy the expensive ones? You know, and it has always been a thing that disturbs me so much. Why do we belittle ourselves in that sense? What is it that makes us think that we deserve the cheap things in life? Is our God cheap? I certainly don't think so.
Because like your mind captures, you know, every moment that happens within your whole day as a person, you know, because if you look at how our houses are structured, Elokshin, you know, because we are so cramped in the township that in each and every corner, all you see is a bottle store. And all you see in the corners are people selling weed. And Elokshin, in the township, there are a lot of, you know, there's a lot of crime. So there are no real role models for the young ones to look up to. So what we see is what we think, and what we think is what we absorb. So inevitably we're going to become the social structure that happens within the township. So what we feed our minds, you know, determines how we live. Because from what I've been doing lately, I've been channeling myself to the right energies, you know, and I've been reinforcing this energy over and over again. Because what I do is, sometimes I would go to Santin, Nyobugela ma Lamborghini, you know,
baby boy.
Watch Lamborghinis, I'm a Porsche, because I want to be like that. It's what I'm attracting, you know, and look at, you know, the tallest buildings, the fanciest hotels. You know, you mentioned something like we always belittle ourselves, you know. I think it began, you know, in the township where Maukula, like you grew up, you know, your parents didn't have like enough money, you know, to even give you ugutuyo spender for his kaftin, you know, lunch money. So I believe that we should move into spaces that enable us to think positively and to feed our
brains
the right food, you know.
And that's the thing, you know, I've seen, this is me talking from experience. And oh my goodness, wowza, it dawned on me. A white parent will take their child to all these fancy places, like a 2-year-old. And at some point I was like, why is this woman even spending so much money on this thing for a 2-year-old?
Exactly.
But that is them teaching their kids the beautiful things that they deserve. You feel like taking your child to Sentin at a 2-year-old age is like spending money, is wasting money and all of those things. And little do we know that you are depriving your kids of what they are worth. You know, you mentioned something about in Germany, when you grow up, you are being told that you are
the best.
You are the best.
When you're born, you're told that you're the best.
You're the best.
Immediately.
And
Yes.
with us, this comes back to like our previous topic on relationships, that we grow up in homes where we are not trained to
Yes.
deal with life. You try
Yes.
to express your emotions, your feelings. You are being shunned down. You try asking for money to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Instead of your dad saying, I will make a plan, or your mom saying, I will
Yes.
make a plan, he
Yes.
starts telling you about the financial situation at home. Uyazi Eunice ukuthi la endlini, and
Yes.
even if you see something that you are deserving of, but the first few things that come to your mind are those words. Uyazi that isimo sala endlini. You know,
Yes.
isimo
Yes.
sala endlini has
Uh-huh.
crushed so many dreams.
Exactly.
I remember when I wanted to go to USA, like I needed money for insurance, for this and that. And it came to a point where I decided that I'm not going to tell my dad, because I knew he was going to be like, Eunice, how about you get a part-time job? How about you do 1, 2, 3? Not even like get a part-time job. How about you wait till you
Exactly.
have money? Like, Helang, you are going to wait until when to get your dreams realized? Now hear me out. I did not go and rob a bank. I did not do any silly things. But I believed within the depths of my heart that my God was going to provide.
Exactly.
And I went to bed with a white heart, knowing Mudimu is going to make a plan. And money made its way to me. You know how you speak about energy?
Exactly.
That everything is an energy. I told myself that I'm going to get the money. I'm not even worried where it's going to come from, but I'm going to get the money. And this brings me back to how I got into university. So high school, it has always been a thing, Yoguti, I want to go to UJ, I want to go to UJ, I want to go to my accounting at UJ. And I ended up doing teaching. And this might be a very interesting story for some of you that feel like there's no hope in life, or that things aren't really going in your favor. I got my matric results came out. I got acceptance from VETS before UJ. And mind you, my friend Gugu would also testify that our plans were all focused on UJ. Sisi, we're gonna go to UJ, we're gonna stay dressed, it's gonna be lit, you know, we're
Yes.
gonna be doing all the nice things. Come results, I get accepted, both universities. I was very excited. It was hard work. I had worked for that. There's no doubt about it.
Sure.
And then, come registration, I did not have 3,000. It was 3,600, I think. I did not have 3,600 or 3,900 to go and register AUJ. And I told my dad, but the registration date is close by. You need to give me money to go and register. And he's like, baby girl, I don't have money. January, we've just overspent December. We don't have money for registration. But how? You had told me that you made the means for me to go to school. I was angry, I was in my feels, I was annoyed, I was going through all kinds of things. Then comes registration, Yoko Vates, where the registration is like 10 grand. And miraculously, money made its way to us. And that's when when it comes to purpose or what God has called you to do, and then it dawned to me that I would have forced and made my way to UJ to go and do accounting. I was going to end up in life sitting next to a TV screen, where else God did not call me for that.
Exactly.
He had called me to go and speak to people. Hence, he aligned my way to go into teaching. And I still try and sit down and be like, how come we do not afford 3,000?
Exactly.
And 10,000 was able to make its way to us for me to go and register. And I guess this also comes with being patient with your journey, because a lot of people, we want to see things getting done. We are living under this peer pressure society that you want to see things done. Where else God has his
other
plans
for
us, you know?
Because one thing I can say to you is that our plans are definitely not God's plans. That's unfortunate because I can also like reciprocate to what you're saying.
Yeah.
About your struggle to get into it. You know, we've both, had financial problems within a VIT because when I was accepted at VIT, it came as a surprise to me. So I did not plan for that, but I was just taking, my luck. And when I was accepted, my mom didn't have money, my dad did not have money, my whole family did not have money, and it sounded impossible.
The entire family don't have money.
And it speaks to priorities because sometimes, in our families, we need money for tuition, but when we need money for tuition, it becomes a struggle. Go to mamako like I keep money for tuition,
And that's the funny thing in our societies.
But when there's Black Friday in my supermarket, we always take loans for these things. So like we value the most temporal things, in life. So we should like focus on the long-term goals rather than short-term goals, because like the long-term goals will also decide on the legacy of the families, of the black culture, of the black spirit. And then so when I was in VIT, I was heartbroken that I did not even have a meal, for to sustain me for the rest of the day. But hey, thanks to you, like Boshalung Niga coupon lakolasi. She was the one that was helping me. I'm like, hey, umusaga Jesu. That was amazing. And I think that
forgot about that.
And I think that awakened, a lot of things within me. I started questioning myself, and that's when I started realizing my purpose in life. I'm like, you know what? I need to pull up my socks. This is not for me. I had all sorts of questions. My mind was clouded with a lot of negativity. So I was kind of depressed. So that was the time. I think I'm grateful for that struggle because it has, moved me into the space of attracting positive energies and being able to manifest it into my life, and the reason why I'm doing this financial freedom investing thing is because I want to help out that student, that is striving for 100 rand to survive for the day. And it is heartbreaking to see black students struggle in my university, in colleges. It is heartbreaking to watch on the television, young black leaders of political parties fighting for a greater cause like financial freedom, and it moves my heart in like, I don't know how to explain it, but like it breaks my heart. So that's why I want to help a lot of black people and empower them
like I
with this tool.
personally like this initiation because trading, what they call it, that aspect, it doesn't like even require a lot of time. You can be a student and still be able to make money on the side. You could be chowing course, and whenever there's an event, that you're downloading money on the internet, how you guys call it.
Yes.
And I feel like that's another way to help yourself. If we can invest our knowledge in the right things and seek information from the right people, take time to learn about these things before you throw in your money. Because I have tried it, I have seen it works. I could be on this vacation because of that money. We don't know.
Exactly.
But it really does work. We need to get into this whole thing of allowing ourselves to be curious, investigate, research. Because if you tell yourself that you're going to wait for the day that you get employed, you are going to wait till it rains. Our society has been killed because we have a lot of money has been taken on us and we gave up. But I have seen a lot of ways in which people make money online. Got to USA, I was taught about various ways of making money within the click of your laptop, within the click of your phone. You could be anywhere in the world, and it's possible. People need to start investing in the right things. We are so caught up in this generation, Yabo, slay queen. You know, we want to slay beauty.
Exactly.
We want to slay physically, but we are not really slaying in our pockets. We are in this generation whereby we do not even have medical aid, medical aid, funeral cover, because we are so obsessed in looking the part. And the sad truth is that guy that you're trying to fix yourself for, he's not even invested in all of those things. And this comes to another topic that I was having with a friend, that lately we do not get into relationships broke looking.
Exactly.
You want to see how this is gonna work out for you, because we grew up in poverty. You definitely do not want to walk into poverty.
Yes.
But if we can, educate ourselves, seek information from the right people. YouTube is a very big source of
it's a
information.
very powerful platform.
Go on
actually.
YouTube, find ways to make the best life that you could possibly be yearning for. Go on YouTube, research the right things. Our generations, the queen and all of those things, we're gonna see them after. Those people have also found ways to make money, and it works for them. Try and invest your time in doing the right things. Read about finance, read about investing. Associate yourself with people who are already doing this. Renale pride,
People are scared to ask for help, and a lot of people are struggling because they have this sense of, I got this all figured out, and that's why a lot of people are depressed, because you would find that Leso Slay Queen, that Slay King, if there's any other Slay King, they're struggling, but they have this image, Yoguti, like, I have this all sorted out, but inside they're crying for help, So people should try to, swallow their pride and just go to the right people and just ask for help.
And help is always there,
Exactly, there's always help.
And coming back to energies, I like this so much. I remember I was stressing as well, but oh my goodness, I'm so used to having money. I'm going back to Mzansi, I'm going to be so broke. What the hell am I going to do with my life? And for the longest time I was stressing, and I feel like God saw that I was worrying myself unnecessarily. And I started reading on all the ways to improve my life, because I am really at a point where I'm like, I do not want to work for anybody at all. I'm full of because you are helping someone else fulfill their purpose,
their dreams as well.
Their dreams, and you are just there. And they make you feel, working 9 to 5. Oh yes, our parents have done that, but I feel like it's time we break all of those things. Let's not be like our parents. And so I challenged myself. I was like, for a month, I'm only going to read books that talk about finance. Yes. I'm only going to do research that has to do with finance. And because God works in mysterious ways, I had focused my energy in what I wanted, and it started aligning me with people that are already doing it financially.
Relevance.
So, and it's only like recently dawned to me, this is what I was worried about. I was worried about going back to Mzansi and being broke. And had I taken, you see the energy that I put into worrying, I decided to take it and invest it on what exactly I want to achieve. And this goes back to my first podcast, that we should stop focusing on what we don't want, because the moment you focus on what you don't want, it's most likely to take shape.
Exactly.
Imagine if what you don't want is most likely to take shape. What about when you start focusing your energy on the things that you really, really, really want?
And I think the problem is we too quick to say we don't want this. At the same time, we don't know what we want. Like, we should break that narrative, Yoguti. I don't want this. I want this. I don't want this. Yes, be intentional about what you want. Be straightforward with yourself. Tell yourself that, you know what, I'm not into this thing, but I'm gonna do it because I want to be financially free. I want to break this generational curse yasendlini. I want to move into spaces with other people. Nami ngifuna ukuposta ngama champagne and stuff.
Challenge yourself to the right
Because
thing.
we've been struggling for a long time, and I feel like we should liberate ourselves, we should like empower ourselves as young black men, because there are powerful tools, right, like in this world to help you with your journey. That's why I started this movement of teaching women forex. It's a free beginners class for women. Imagine
if you are
a
woman
free
and you
women.
are listening to this right now.
Exactly.
Leroy is going to leave his contact details at the end of this. I urge you to get in touch with him. I have seen it, I have done it, and it's working. Let me not interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Exactly, because I'm saying that we've been talking about slay kings and slay queens, and I feel like we should destroy this slay king, this slay queen.
Slay in the right way.
Slay in the right ways, because who would want to teach you forex for free? I mean, like, really. And I'm offering this class for free. So
for
like,
women only.
Yes, for women only. Because like
young women, by the way.
Young women. No, this can be like all women of all ages. I'm not kind of particular about this, but any type of woman, any age, any race, I just want to destroy this thing yokuthi mele kube nama slay queen, mele kube nabantwana abasokolayo esikolweni, and I believe like women, this trading thing is dominated by males. So women should get into the space and make a mark, leave a mark, And this platform is so powerful because it can help you manifest your other dreams. It can be a cash injection for your other dreams. So yeah.
Talking about other dreams, he's talking like this because he's on vacation. Growing up, going to Mauritius has been a thing of,
can I live for a minute?
When I get married, I want to go to Mauritius for my honeymoon. And here he is, all this cash inflation. I must say, I'm really inspired by what you do. I really support what you are doing. And the fact that you are also doing it for women. Because women for the longest time have been oppressed.
Yes.
Women for the longest time have not been given opportunities to live out their dreams. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for making time. It's like midnight, 2 a.m. and we are here doing this podcast, and I really hope that it gets to you and it gives you the urge to want to stand up and do something with your life. One thing that I can also encourage, like, make your goals realistic. This is one thing that I've been doing for the longest time, and it works for me. It might work for you too. Try it out and tell me how it goes. Find a list, a board or something. Write exactly what is it that you want. Be honest with yourself. Write down, Eunice, by the end of this week, I want to have read 3 pages of this book. By the end of this week, I'm going to go out and scout for somebody who's going to mentor me financially. By the end of this week, I'm going to challenge myself to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Believe you me, that makes life exciting, that makes a flow in life, and that makes you want to do more. And who knows, you could find yourself living your best life. Life always has its challenges, but it is best lived in discovery. And with all of that being said, I'm going to allow Roy to leave his contact details, his Instagram handle, in case you want to reach out to him. There you have it, Roy.
Okay, so on Facebook, I go by the name of Leroy Segone. And then on Instagram, it's Leroy_Kunta. And for the Women in Forex Initiative, you just follow my page on Facebook, which is Sir_Kunta.
Thank you so much for taking your time to be with me today. I've come to realize that when you take your time and notice what you want, your list grows. The more you really focus on what is good, the more good things you get. So if you also want to get in touch with me, give me feedback, share an experience, or you also want to feature and share your journey on Unbecoming to Become, you can reach out to me on Eunice Temba, Eunice Ngitandiwe Temba, which is on Facebook, and on Instagram I go by uni_Ngitandiwe, and you can also send me an email on eunicetemba96@gmail.com.